So on my table today is an engine I have recently come into possession of, and as you can see it's a Webra engine, but I kind of want to take a look around this box first to show you this, because I've never had one of these engines complete in box like this. Now here it says Webra Speed 80F, and then it's got a check marks for RC motor, and that it's a ringed engine, and that it has a type TN carb, a twin needle carb, as opposed to the Dynamex carb. So this is just a look around of that. Now let's see what type of Webra 80 engine it is. Inside here we've got some Webra instructions that look like they're all written in a language I cannot read, German I'm assuming, but it would appear that these instructions focus entirely on carburetors. So that's kind of a cool thing. Let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately I can't read it though. I believe that's German, seeing as that's where Webra engines were made. So that's a neat piece of paper that comes with it, but you really can't read it. Let's see, here's another piece of documentation that came with it. Webra T4 motors. So obviously this is one of their rotary valve 4-stroke engines. Nice documentation that comes with it. Oh, this side shows a bunch of Webra engines from the time that this came out, which I don't see. Well, here's an arrow marking the engine that this is. I don't see any dates on this. Unfortunately, unlike in the United States, other countries don't really have to have copyrights. It doesn't appear, because I never see copyright dates. So that's usually one kind of indicator I like to try to look for to see if it tells me anything about time frame. Now this is interesting. This is something from Circus Hobbies, and from my experience with Circus Hobbies, that was a hobby store in California that was in business in the mid-90s. This just talks about Webra instructions for Webra T4-80. Talks about breaking in the, whatever. It has some minor information there, because what the hell does Circus Hobbies know about anything? So here's the engine, and I'm under the impression that this is a new in the box engine, never seen fuel. So here's the exhaust, and if you're going to do a smell test on any engine, this is the place to start, because that'll tell you that can't be really hidden. I smell absolutely no evidence that this engine has ever, or at least this exhaust, has ever had exhaust gases pass through it, because it smells just like clean metal. So here's our engine. This is the Webra T4-80 belt-driven rotary valve engine. It does have a glow plug installed, and this engine does look pristine. Now, it's got good compression for a brand new engine that's ringed. I would expect that compression to pick up as it gets run and broken in. I have a Webra T4-80 engine. When I bought mine, I bought it from a local modeler, I don't know, 5 months ago maybe or so. I don't remember when it was. But it was missing intake manifold and a carb. But I bought it anyway because I also have a Webra T4-60 that is complete. So all I did was I figured, well, we'll give it a shot and see. And I put the intake manifold and carb from that engine, which is right here, onto this Webra T4-80. And one of the things I wanted to check was, I wanted to know, because this is actually the carb on mine, the carb that came with the 60, and I was assuming that they would be the same as the 80, and it ran fine with it, and it would appear that the assumption was correct, because that carb looks identical to the one on this engine. So the only thing that looks somewhat different to me here is that my intake manifold for the 60 is a little bit smaller in diameter than this, but that really is irrelevant, because airflow is really only going to matter at your most restricted point, and if the carb opening is the same as on here, then it really doesn't matter how much different in size this intake manifold is, at least as far as I know, because this engine ran just great as it was. So brand new in the box, I'm calling it, Webra T4-80 4-stroke engine. And obviously, since I have one, I'm really not in need of this engine. So what that means is I don't necessarily need to keep this engine. So anybody that's watching this, there's going to be a lot of caveats to this though. If anybody watches this and is interested in this engine, it's probably going to be for sale, but I'm probably not going to list it on any forum or anything. This video would serve as the sale ad, and it would take very, very special circumstances before I would ship this overseas because of the risk involved, the amount of the cost of shipping, and that type of thing. So at least my initial gut feeling is this is going to be offered to folks in the continental United States only. And if you're interested in potentially buying this engine, there'll be a link on the general discussion area of this video that has a way to get my email address. I will not discuss anything about the transaction of this engine on the comments of the video, so don't even bother doing that. You have to contact me via email if you're interested in potentially owning this engine, and at that time we will discuss price and that type of thing. But this was a quick look at what appears to me to be a complete Webra and pristine Webra T4-80 4-stroke engine.